Hi everyone, my name is Cassie Kemp. I am the East Midlands judge for the Carnegie and Kate Greenaway medals for this year and for next year in 2021. In my day job, I'm a librarian at the Creative Learning Services, which is the school's library service for Leicester and Leicestershire. I'm here today to talk about some absolutely fabulous books that hopefully you'll be able to get hold of either digitally or physically from your libraries if you're not going to buy them yourselves. They are a picture book. I've also got a middle grade book in there and one for slightly older teenagers. So there should be something for everybody, and I'll tell you kind of what they are about and who they appeal to and just a little bit more about them, because these are some of my favourite books and favourite authors as well. So without any further ado, first on my list today is The Undefeated. This is written by Kwame Alexander and illustrated by Kadir Nelson. It was on the Greenaway shortlist for this year, for 2020, and it is an absolutely stunning picture book. So Kwame Alexander wrote the poem that runs through the story, and then it's illustrated by Kadir Nelson. It is so unbelievably powerful. It's a fabulous book for sharing and talking about Black Lives Matter. It is about Black people in American history, and it celebrates some great figures from art, from sport, from history in lots of different ways. But it also has this really underlying message of we are the undefeated. Whatever history has thrown at us, it doesn't matter, because we've got ourselves, we've got togetherness, and we've got hope for the future. I'm not going to lie to you, the first time I read it, I had a tear in my eye because it is just so powerful. The connection between the words and just how empowering they are, and the beautiful, absolutely stunning illustrations just make it a really fabulous and incredibly memorable picture book. So that is The Undefeated. Next up, I have one of my favourite middle grade authors. This is Pamela Butchart. This is, I don't know, it's probably about a dozen books into her absolute fabulous bibliography. This is Icarus Was Ridiculous. It is available hopefully through your public library service online, if not digitally, if not in physical form, but her books are absolutely fabulous. They are funny, they are school-based, they're about a crazy bunch of kids who kind of take their own take on different situations. One of my favourite ones, other than this one obviously, is there's a Yeti in the playground, which is all based around the beast. When we had that real really bad winter a couple of years ago, and it was the beast from the east, and it's as if those kids have taken that literally and they're imagining that there is a beast from the east in their playground. It's just fabulous. It's that kind of humour. It's very silly, it can be quite slapstick, but she is a fabulous author to get kids into, because there's just so many of them. Icarus Was Ridiculous, as you can probably imagine, has got a Greek myths theme to it. It is Izzy, this is Izzy here, so she features in the majority of the books, so in the Yeti book as well, but this is the second one where she's kind of taken on the mission of retelling kind of traditional or original stories. The first one was Shakespeare, and that was called To We or Not To We. Brilliant title. If that doesn't make them laugh, what will? And then this one is all about the Greek myths, and Izzy retells them as they're learning about them in school, and she puts a kind of a modern childlike twist on them. So we've got the myth of Narcissus, and it's all about selfies and loving yourself a little bit too much. And then Icarus, obviously, he was a bit of a naughty boy, he didn't listen and he flew too close to the sun. That kind of thing going on. They're illustrated throughout as well. They're not too high level, so they're great for kind of year 3, 4, maybe upper key stage 2 as well, but they're really funny. There's so many of them. They make you laugh out loud as a child, as an adult as well. They are just absolutely stunning books. I love them. They always make me giggle. When the new one comes into our library, I'm always on it straight away, because sometimes we just need a laugh, we just need something a little bit humorous. But obviously this one in particular has got the kind of curriculum link as well, so you've got Greek myths running through it. I'm going to stop talking about Pamela Butchart, because as you can tell, I am a massive fan. But please, if you've not come across her books before, get hold of them, as many of them as you can, and share them as widely as you can. They are fabulous. So this is Icarus Was Ridiculous, which is quite hard to say. And then the last book I'm going to talk to you about, oh, it's heavy. This is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We're all familiar with the Hunger Games trilogy, so that was over 10 years ago now. But this is the one that's just come out. It came out a couple of months ago. As soon as it came through the post, I ordered my own copy, which working in a library doesn't happen that often really, but I had to have this because the Hunger Games is just one of my favourite series since I was a teenager, let's put it that way. So this is the prequel to the Hunger Games in Katniss's story. It's set over 60 years before her story, and it tells the story, the kind of the origin story of President Snow, Coriolanus Snow, who we know from the kind of the modern trilogy, as we'll put it that way, as the president, and he's very kind of corrupt, he's very evil. So it's all about finding out about how he came to be who he was. I'll tell you a little bit about the story. So it's the first year that the Hunger Games, it's the 10th year of the Hunger Games, and it's the first year that they've allowed mentors. And Coriolanus is one of the students at the Panem College, I can't remember the name of it, Panem Academy. And he is nearing the end of his school life. He's about to go to university. He's got his whole world ahead of him. He's very privileged, but is he? His family is struggling a little bit. And him and his classmates are the first wave of students to be paired with a tribute from the districts and to go forward. And we get that journey of what happens in the arena, through Coriolanus's eyes, as he is kind of nurturing his tribute. And it's so completely different to what we know in Katniss's story, because there's no kind of, it's very, very simple technology wise. There's no training, there's no run up to it beforehand. They are literally just thrown in with a pile of weapons. There's a camera every kind of now and again. They don't follow them around, and there's no microphones on the characters or anything like that. But it is just as intense, and if not a little bit more barbaric than the original trilogy, as we'll call it. The character that he becomes the mentor for is called Lucy Greybeard. She's from District 12. She's from a kind of nomadic tribe called the Covey, who have settled in District 12, and that's where they've got to stay now because of everything that happened in the dark days and the war and all that kind of thing. She is an amazing character. She's very, very different to Katniss, who is equally as amazing, but she's a little bit different. She's feisty, she kind of doesn't really care, she's quite eccentric, and it's absolutely fascinating to see what happens to her when she goes into the arena. I'm not going to tell you any more. As you can tell again, I absolutely adored this book. It is long. We're going to go up to about 600 pages for this, and if you're familiar with the Hunger Games themselves, they're not the longest of books, so it kind of feels like you've got 3 in 1 almost. It is kind of split nicely into 3 different acts as well, but it is absolutely fabulous. This should be on your public library service as well, ebook and e-audio book as well. Please read it as soon as you can. If you're a librarian introducing this in your school library or in your public library, I would say it stands alone as a different book. They don't need to have read the original trilogy to appreciate this. It is that good. So that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Susan Collins. I'm going to stop talking about books because, as you can tell, I could do this all day, but those are the 3 books that I've chosen to talk to you about. Please try and find them if you've not read them already, and let us know what you think of them. As part of the National Shelf Service, we're promoting books to you from librarians to librarians and all the other readers out there in the world. So thank you very much for watching this, and enjoy the books.